Hey guys, hope you are all having a great and fantastic Friday. First and foremost, before we even talk about today, let me say that I am very humbled by the overwhelming positive reaction I have received for the morning videos. I see that a great amount of you have sort of learned to understand the vicious nature of the business, and based on your feedback, now feel like you have a better grip at understanding the kind of people we are betting against. I said that this morning videos wasn't going to end, and I mean it. Due to the effect that I have seen the videos cause in you guys, I know I have to continue to make these videos because they are having a very positive effect. Now, I want to say that these videos do take a crazy amount of time and research to make, as they are very elaborate. As such, it's not something I can commit myself to doing every single day of the week. So, what I am going to be aiming at is making those videos just like I did this week, with a scheduled released for 2 to 3 days in a row, from a Wednesday all the way to a Friday. I do not know how I am going to do it, but I will plan it out over this weekend. The value derived by you guys is too great a thing for me to simply discard them, so expect all types of insights and topics to be discussed in such a thing. We going all out on this thing, just bear with me because the workload is immense and it all falls on my shoulders to make, so it's a bit challenging. So, today was a rather weird day for us. As expected, we were on the receiving end of a hit. Nothing really out of the ordinary for us, however, as this has been the customer practice for months now. Today's video is going to go over some small but important developments. We have been doing a ton of DD and wrinkly videos this entire week, and just like you I am exhausted. It's Friday, so let's keep it super simple as we enter the weekend. Before we get started, let me quickly disclose and state that I am not a financial analyst or advisor, and that all contents discussed in this video are provided as opinions. All efforts are placed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Everything presented is evidence I collect, and all opinions are based on research, experience and knowledge on the matter. Shout out to all my Patreons and one-time donors, who continue to support this channel. All that said, let's go right into it. Something funny happened today. The Wall Street Journal published an article titled "The Meme Lords Who Are Taking Over the C-Suite," where they go on to talk about how company insiders, including GameStop's Ryan Cohen, AMC's Adam Aron and Tesla's Elon Musk, and how they post, and I quote, outlandish tweets and have cult-like followings online. They go on to call them interacting with people on Twitter as risk strategies that can sometimes be effective. Then they go on and extrapolate, starting to call these individuals meme lords, which sounds so weird coming from them, almost like a grown adult trying to fit in and be cool with kids. Then they go on to and make a small section for each of these people, explaining how they rose to notoriety and use weird comments from so-called experts about how they thread the line of danger by simply writing statements, and how regulators might not like that. It is so funny that all the people they mentioned happen to be top board members of the most shorted companies in the world. Isn't it funny that the people they are trying to put down in this scummy article all happen to have incredibly high short positions on their companies by Wall Street hedge funds and banks? I don't think this is a coincidence at all. My next issue with this statement is that it tries to build an argument that people on high positions should not engage with fans online. Why is it that company management cannot have friendly relationships with the owners of their companies? This elitist point really goes to show just how out of touch Wall Street and the media is with the change happening in the world. Let me be the one to break it to you. The whole celebrity fame is not going to be exclusive to artists in the near future. We are at a point in life where people are looking for charismatic leaders that inspire them to be better. Owning the stock of a company that is run by people with feet on the ground is cool, and in fact, in future investments, I will be looking at how CEOs and other management interact with people. If all they care is about appealing to the media and high elitists, with no shown regard to retail investment, you can count me out. Get used to the new world Wall Street Journal. You are not the center of the universe anymore, and you don't get to dictate what is cool or trendy. You are the joke in the room, making clickbait and poorly developed articles that are so out of touch with modern audiences that we just use them to laugh at you. You don't control the narrative anymore, we do, so keep dancing for us so we can laugh and buy some more tendies. So, you guys know that one of the things that I have mentioned will affect the squeeze as well as having a part in how we approach a market crash or other markets in the world. It is often forgotten or omitted that America is not the only country with a stock market, and that other countries' participation in trades does have weight into how everything flows. This is nothing major, but it is a clear indication of this very statement. South Korea lifted interest rates from record low as their debt has now started to seriously threaten their growth. A government official maintained that the bank could further tighten their policy as data shows that South Korea's economy is overheating. Already, officials have started to push up inflation projections from 1.8% all the way to 2.1%. Another official stated that if there is another rate hike this year, it will most likely happen in November, given that there will be at least 2 to 3 rate hikes needed, including the recent meeting to address financial imbalances risk. You see, central banks around the world are starting to lay the groundwork for a transition from a crisis era that began as emergency support for collapsing growth as it overheats many economies. The timing of these events happening in South Korea could not be worse, since the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell also recently addressed that he is expecting to signal the future direction of U.S. monetary policy. Things are changing, and they are changing fast. Economies around the world are having a bit of difficulty handling inflation and the necessary changes as much of the spectrum has shifted due to different factors. The reason why I shared this with you guys is because these things matter a lot. It's not just American economies that are inflating like crazy, it's other important economies as well, and this has very direct ramifications to our own markets, and consequently our squeeze and how everything progresses. Today a lot of reports came out talking about inflation all the way in America. The White House more than doubled its forecast for annual inflation, reaching a 30-year high. In fact, all inflation pressure risk indexes are in color red right now, showing a lot of instability and demonstrating that the government is not being able to adequately handle the current crisis. Now, let's talk about today's data. The Fed reported that reverse repo operations for today resulted in over $1.120 trillion, showing just how insane and crazy this economy really is at the moment. AMC's dark pool transactions accounted for 68% of the total volume, while GameStop dark pool transactions accounted for 54% of the total volume today. According to Fidelity data, buy order flow for AMC was bigger than the sell order flow, with GameStop's buy order flow also being bigger than the sell order flow. Now, let us finish up with a recap of today's performance. AMC ended the day gaining over 1%. The stock began pre-market with a pretty ugly dip. The stock bounced off a bit, but still remained relatively weak. Upon market opening, the stock experienced massive volatility, reaching both the lower and upper band of the VWAP in less than 5 minutes. There was a serious battle between shorters and bulls. The stock continued a wave of volatility, reaching the same high again later in the morning. The stock appears to consolidate high and was ready for a big breakout until shorters hit us with a short ladder attack that dropped us to 39.39. AMC then bounced up and reached 40.90 in a bounce up. The stock was then met with another attack, this time dipping down to 39.80. Then, in the last minutes of trading, a bullish wave carried AMC to a closing of 40.84, above the VWAP. Today marked a victory against the hedge fund intention of having us close below $40. I will make a video on Sunday about what I think is likely to happen next week. As for GameStop, it experienced a loss for the day of less than 1%, which is not a big deal at all. The stock opened to a small surge up to 213. It was unable to maintain that high or consolidate anywhere near it, so it dipped back down. Over time, GME was making a slow climb, elevating the lows. After testing 207.66 twice and not being able to break that resistance wall, the stock had a massive short attack, dropping it all the way down to 200.02. Shorters were intent on not letting GameStop rise above the VWAP today. GameStop then had a small bounce, closing below the VWAP at 204.95, which was still a major victory against hedge funds. Again, I will make a video on Sunday explaining what to expect next week. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. Today's big question is, what benefit, if any, does art have to society? I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you again for the recent support you have given me with the morning videos. Like I said, I am figuring out how to schedule them so I don't burn myself out. Don't worry, that will be something we will stick with going forward. Just bear with me while I figure it all out. If you want to help this channel, I have provided links which will be in the description for donations or even a monthly pledge of whatever amount you want. These donations do go a long way in helping me be able to pump videos out, as I have quit my job and abandoned most other activities in order to do this full time. Remember to follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Have an amazing weekend, go to the movies or buy yourself a video game. Have fun. Go out and live life. Though we love some meme stocks, remember that life is much bigger than stocks in general. Go crazy this weekend, and I will see you all tomorrow for another short little video. To the moon.